Friday nights are different when the Golden State Warriors are not playing, and that's okay. I feel like some calm following that insane season of Warriors basketball may be a welcome thing. And plus, the Valkyries play tonight. I'm going to talk a little bit about that, but this show is going to be mostly pertaining to the Warriors and even more specifically, exit interviews. At the end of every season, NBA teams meet the media for what they call exit interview press conferences. And I picked out a few clips that I think may or may not be pertinent and important, but the Warriors have huge decisions to make this offseason. This is massive. And by the way, F2P in the chat saying, well, valiant effort from the Valkyries. 100% agreed. Look, I said this earlier today. We are doing a doubleheader of Golden Days when I had Sophia Jones and Kevin Dana, the radio voices of the Golden State Valkyries on the program. I'm going to repeat the sentiments I said this morning. They're an expansion team. There are very little expectations in terms of the reality of what you can expect from the Golden State Valkyries. So for year one, we're going to sit back, relax, and take in the sights and sounds and the action. I'll talk a little bit about the Valkyries tonight. It is awesome that they're on TV. I'm also going to explain how you can watch in case you found yourself perplexed, wondering, how do I actually watch the Valkyries play? I figured it out. There is a way, pretty much anybody, if you have just like a Fire Stick or something similar that you plug into your TV, there is a way to watch Valkyries games for free. I'm going to explain how. We're going to talk Warriors, because, again, some huge decisions await. So come join the party. It's Friday night. Congrats just on making it through a week. I feel you. If this week, or if any week for that matter, makes you feel like you're grasping for survival, I get it. And hopefully we can have some fun in the process tonight. This is the Golden Days.
They always find something to nitpick, and that's because there's expectations for us to win. Leave me alone this summer.
Woo! Let's go. In a minute, I'ma need a sentimental man or woman to pump me up.
And live out. Welcome to the Golden Days. Shardal is in the house. I'll bring you on a little later, Shardal, if you're interested. We got an audience here. It's nothing like what we were seeing following a traditional Warriors game, but better late than never. Welcome to the audience. Welcome to everyone watching the recorded version. I am live here on a Friday night. This is the Golden Days, a program that covers the Golden State Warriors. Yes, we cover the Golden State Valkyries. Their color analyst is a co-host on this program, joins me every Monday for V for Valkyries. That's going to be where the analysis comes from, where the details pertaining to the Golden State Valkyries. Monday is going to be the day where we dedicate a large portion of the program to them. But I will say this, in their franchise opener, I loved what I saw. 84-67 was the final. The Valkyries lost to the LA Sparks. Kelsey Plum had a huge game, 37 points to lead the way for the Sparks. We saw a brutal injury early in this game. I believe it was Ray Burrell, who I hope I'm wrong in this analysis of what I saw, but it looks like a blown ACL. I could be mistaken on that, but it didn't look good. And I really hope that's not the case. Your leading scorers, and again, Kelsey Plum had 37 points. God damn, she looked good out there. Your leading scorer for the Golden State Valkyries tonight was Tiffany Hayes. Terry Benny added 15 points. Hayes had 19. I'm a fan early on, however, from watching the game tonight, of point guard Julie Van Loo, the veteran. She's like your perfect expansion team point guard. She's going to keep your team relevant. She's going to try to involve other players. She's the veteran who 5-10 years from now, a lot of you will forget. But on an expansion team, someone who needs to steer the ship and keep things straight and calm through the muddled waters, through the storm, I think Julie Van Loo is going to do a pretty damn good job. She's an international player, played 27 minutes tonight, was 4 of 10 shooting from deep, 16 points on the night. you're going to get a lot of valiant efforts from the Golden State Valkyries. And yeah, I will invite the audience in a little bit. Carl Munoz. Apologies, my brain just farted right there. But yeah, I will absolutely welcome people on the show after we get to the beginning part, which includes some sound clips I'm going to play from Mike Dunleavy Jr., Steve Kerr, and Jonathan Kuminga. All the rest of the clips were just cliched for the most part. Most of the players had one foot out the door before they even stepped into the interview room to meet the press. But again, props to the Valkyries tonight. A for effort, if that means anything. But it was a good time. A lot of Warriors players were in the audience and coaches. Jonathan Kuminga, Brandon Pajemski, Kevon Looney were there supporting their team. Steve Kerr was there supporting the team. Joel Lacob, of course, the owner of both franchises, was there. There was a sighting of Doc Rivers, who I believe the Valkyries head coach. Oh boy. See if I don't have her name in front of me, is it Nakase? Coach Nakase, I think I got that right. Used to work for Doc Rivers when he was a coach, I believe, with the Clippers. So there's a connection there. So we saw Doc in the house. All in all, it was a good vibe. Congrats to the Golden State Warriors organization as a whole, just for getting this thing going. It was ridiculous that WNBA basketball was not present in the San Francisco Bay Area until now. So good stuff. Chardal, thank you. Natalie Nakase, Coach Nakase is, I think, the best way to properly address her. So kudos to the Valkyries. And again, every Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific time, Sophia Jones is going to join me. But we're going to be focusing largely on the Warriors. And again, I'm going to bring audience members onto the show in a little bit. Before I start playing some clips from the last 2 days of interview day, which included Mike Dunleavy Jr. Saying some interesting things, Steve Kerr saying some very interesting things that definitely exposed him for the one-trick pony that, sadly, I think he is as a head coach. I'll get into what I mean in just a second by that. And then I'm going to play some sound from Jonathan Kuminga, who's going to be the focus of this offseason, whether the Warriors keep him, at which point you're going to have to make a huge commitment, both money-wise and time-wise, minutes-wise. Like, you're going to have to accept the fact that he's not someone you could just jerk around anymore. And Kuminga, on his part, thankfully now has some freedom. We'll talk about that in just a second as well. But because the Warriors could also sign and trade him. That's on the table. I feel like there were a lot of options on the table, and the Warriors themselves, I don't think at this point know what they're going to do. Again, this was a taxing season, I think, for everyone involved. And at this point, there's just some relief that you could just literally take a step away for just a moment to collect your bearings. And we're going to break that down in detail in just a second. I got to give some love to my sponsors. First up, Decades Official, a band, more specifically a cover band that's all about showing you a good time. Look, there are a lot of events in this world that need live music. It could be a wedding. It could be an anniversary. It could be a birthday party. It could be a good old-fashioned backyard rager, maybe a corporate fundraiser like the Catalina Wine Mixer. And if you're looking for your prestige worldwide to play your event, look no further than Decades, an incredible band. Go to decadesofficial.com or follow them on Facebook and Instagram at decadesofficial. This is a band that plays everything from the 50s to today. We're talking Chuck Berry to Katy Perry. And the fact that they're a full-time band should be all you need to know to understand just how legendary they are, how talented they are. If you're making a living playing music, you're doing something right. And that's exactly what Decades is doing. They played a private event for Eddie D, the same Eddie DeBartolo that once owned the San Francisco 49ers and won 5 Super Bowls in the process. They were up at his private exclusive compound in Montana playing a set for them. They played the pregame parties next door to Levi Stadium for every Niners home game. Every red zone rally at Great America is played by Decades, and they could be playing live music for you. Email Kyle at atomicmusicgroup.com. Again, Kyle at atomicmusicgroup.com to book Decades for your event, or check out decadesofficial.com. You can find contact information there, a lot more info in general. Today's episode also brought to you by, and this is going to be the last time I say this for what I'm guessing is going to be a few months, and that's Visit Humboldt. it's going to be sad to bid adieu to the folks over at Humboldt and Humboldt County and the individuals I work with there who help support this operation. The summer season's here, folks. If you haven't noticed, the weather's warmed up and kids are about to get out of school. It's going to be mayhem. It's going to be a bedlam out there in terms of things to do, in terms of enjoying the outdoors. Get to Humboldt now before that insanity reaches the upper echelon of Northern California. It's paradise. I used to live up there. I can be a resource for you if you DM me. I was a student at one point at Humboldt State University, now called Cal Poly Humboldt. And whether you want to reach out to me, whether you want to go to visithumboldt.com for an itinerary, for places to stay, things to do, and boy, is there a lot to do up there. There's national parks, state parks, giant old growth redwoods and sequoias. You have beaches. You have incredibly massive precipitous cliffs that go right up to the ocean. The top of those cliffs are huge redwood forests. The bottom of the cliff, beaches and the ocean. It's incredible. It is the most photogenic scene in the entire state, in my humble opinion. Go have the time of your life. There's also breweries. Steelhead is some of the most delicious beer you will ever have. Wineries, restaurants, go check it out and thank me later, especially if you don't know what your summer plans are. Go enjoy Humboldt. Visit Humboldt.com. A pleasure to have them as a sponsor. And hopefully we will resume these reads at the end of summer when the kids are back in school and the weather starts cooling down. And the establishments up there need some business. That's what hopefully we're here for. Thank you for your sponsorship, Humboldt. And that also opens the door real fast for resume coverage to let everyone out there know that right now we do have an opening for sponsorships. Email us, warriors24pod@gmail.com. Again, warriors24pod@gmail.com is our email address. It's the best way to get a hold of us. If you're interested in partnering with us, we go all out. We are committed to our clients in terms of trying to make them happy, trying to increase brand awareness. Hopefully you see we're at least okay at it. Hopefully you think we're good at it. And we look forward to partnering with you. We've got some deals in the works here, but there is time. If you're interested in getting in the mix with us, all you have to do is email warriors24pod@gmail.com. Partner with us. It would be awesome. We'd love to have you. Come join the party. And that party I'm referring to is the Golden State Warriors. And the Warriors, again, disappointing into the season. Very disappointing from my measure, because if healthy, I do believe this was a championship contender. The Stephen Curry injury was a colossal disappointment. The way that Steph was managed was a colossal disappointment because, again, 37-year-olds should not be playing 47 minutes in a postseason game. I don't give a damn if it's a game 7. The management of player minutes by Steve Kerr was egregious. It was very poorly handled. And as you're going to see, I don't know if he's learned a thing from all this, but we're going to touch on that and so much more. First up, in terms of the sound bites, because again, I pulled clips from the previous 2 days, exit interviews with players, executives, coaches, and I want to start with Mike Dunleavy Jr., if you folks don't mind. He took questions yesterday from the press. And this first clip I want to play is about the prized youngster, Jonathan Kuminga, a player who, in my opinion, was grossly mismanaged, a player who all but confirmed that Steve Kerr has no clue what he's doing when it comes to player development, when it comes to minutes, when it comes to knowing who you should and should not play on a basketball team. Steve Kerr does not follow the ethos of play the best players on your team. He follows the ethos of, I'm going to play the guys that I like the most and who makes Stephen Curry's life easiest. And again, the Stephen Curry part of it, I understand to a certain extent. He's one of the greatest players ever. When you unleash him, you get tremendous production. But he's 1 out of 5 players. And Steve Kerr, that's his vision. It's that narrow. It's Steph is my baby, and I'm going to take care of whoever makes my baby most comfortable and happy. And Jonathan Kuminga, God forbid, he's a talent. He sometimes likes to score buckets himself. Other players scoring points does not hurt your team, Kerr. But regardless, that's the reality we're in. And Mike Dunleavy Jr., who has some power with the Golden State Warriors organization, was asked about the Jonathan Kuminga situation. So why don't we hear from the GM of the Golden State Warriors, the former number 3 pick for the Golden State Warriors as well. Mike Dunleavy Jr., who was asked about Jonathan Kuminga, the former number 7 pick in the 2021 draft. He's going to be a restricted free agent. I'll explain his contract situation in just a minute. But here for now is the GM of the Warriors, Mike Dunleavy Jr.
Kuminga is the big ticket item in the summer, obviously. Where do you think that situation's at as it heads toward restricted?
Yeah, I mean, he's, last year we had the option to extend him. This year he's a restricted free agent. So there's if nothing happens, like there's no new contracts, right? So we've got to figure something out, and that's what it's going to be. We value JK. I think he had a resilient season. Is probably the way I'd classify it. He had some ups and downs playing. Most importantly, he had this injury where he missed 31 games. He came back. It was a new team. There were some adjustments, but overall, commend him for his professionalism. I thought he was resilient. And as far as, bringing him back next season, I think it's something that we're very interested in doing, because when I look at the things JK does well in terms of getting to the rim, finishing, getting fouled, these are things we greatly need. And we know he can bring those to the table. It's not hypothetical. It's not a guy in the draft that we think can do it. He's shown for 4 years he can do that. So for that reason, we'll try to bring him back, but we got to have those conversations. You got to figure it out. It's a two-way street in terms of, creating, getting a new contract and all that. So we'll see where it goes.
You mentioned it. You guys have a level of leverage because it is restricted free agency, but also, his desire to come back will be part of the conversation. How much do you feel like there's a convincing that if he comes back, this is, the best place for his career? And how much will you also potentially look at, signing trades with him and other options?
Yeah, we'll look at everything. I think it's hard to know, like 2 days after the season's over, like where it's all headed. I know where I see him as a player. I know how I can work with him here. I know how we can work with him better, but like in terms of guessing how it's all going to play out or what the contract might look like or signing trades and things like that. I mean, honestly, I'd be totally guessing at this point to conjecture on anything. Yeah, I don't really get into like what was talked about in these exit interviews, whether it's with Steve, whether it's with me. I think those are pretty personal. I probably prefer not to comment on that, but yeah, I mean, look, JK's been here for 4 years. We've worked with him. He's put in a lot of time. It's very reasonable, and despite him not playing in some playoff games, I think it's very reasonable and actionable for him to come back.
And here's the crazy part, and you're going to hear from Steve Kerr in just a second. I agree. I do think it's actually very reasonable for the strategy for the Warriors moving forward here is to keep Jonathan Kuminga, as crazy as that sounds. And again, we'll delve into that in a little bit. I start something in the chat here from JK, who I highly doubt is the same Jonathan Kuminga. But if JK, I mean, look, that does look like either Fior or what's the other dog's name? Kuminga has 2 French bulldogs. That looks like maybe it's one of them. I could be totally mistaken on that as well. That could also be Yoda. I can't see that picture too well. But JK in the chat writes, did you see Kuminga and Lacob at the Jumbotron in today's opener side? I did not. So please enlighten me on what was on that Jumbotron. Like, did they embrace? Was it all good? Did Lacob ignore him? I'm actually very curious now. Follow up, please, and explain what you saw there, because I didn't see it. I would love to know what was on there. By the way, real fast, before I forget, Valkyries games, in case you're curious how to watch them. Oh, good. And JK followed up by saying that they think good energy is on X. Look, Lacob loves this kid. And I feel like Lacob is one of the only voices of reason. Mike Dunleavy Jr. as well. Tip of the cap, flowers to MDJ for, despite the coaching, I think doing a fantastic job giving this team the best shot to win, all things considered. Kudos. So far, so damn good. Mike Dunleavy Jr. so far has done a fantastic job, again, given the circumstances, given the fact that he is a head coach who oftentimes will not play the best players. That is an insanely challenging scenario. But good to see here that Kuminga and Lacob were showing some good energy. JK in the chat adding, they shook hands and they laughed. Real quickly here, though, I feel like I keep getting distracted, and that's partly my fault. I am an ADHD kid growing up. And probably still current to this day. Excuse me. if you want to watch Valkyries games, so I'm a Hulu Live subscriber, right? And I'm guessing most people in this day and age are either getting their live TV from Hulu or from YouTube TV. And I don't know if Ion, the channel that carries WNBA games and who likely will be carrying Valkyries games, is available on YouTube TV. But if you're like me, who watches live TV on Hulu, or if you have another subscriber that does not carry Ion, what you can do to watch live Valkyries games is Pluto TV. It's free. I did not even have to register. The app was on my Fire Stick. So I just opened up Pluto TV. I searched Ion, ION, and the Valkyries game immediately came up. So in case you're curious, how do I watch Valkyries games? Because it was not available to me on my channel guide tonight. I also heard from some people that Giants games are not available on Comcast. That's a whole other nightmare scenario. But yeah, so Valkyries games, Pluto TV is the best way to go, at least from my experience. It's free. It was streaming perfectly clear on my television. So that's how you watch Valkyries games moving forward. Now, Luis Berrios in the chat, Coach GM, is saying that Kuminga does not need a short leash. No, he does not. He does not need that distraction looking over his shoulder. And I think, and again, you're gonna hear from Kerr, you're gonna hear from Kuminga, and the theme from everyone involved, from what I'm hearing and reading, is that if Kuminga does come back to the Warriors, the days of Kerr's treatment of him as a role player is done. It's over with. He is going to be a focal point moving forward. At least that's what's being said. And I'm going to play some sound for you in just a second. But and Jacob Pini is adding that Ion is also on Amazon Prime. Yeah, Ion's probably all over the place. I'm just saying for me as a Hulu TV subscriber and viewer, it's not available there. And I don't know what else it is and it's not available for. But Pluto TV is free and it has it. Not everyone has Amazon Prime, so it may or may not be free for you in that regard. Pluto TV is free if you have a Fire Stick. So just an FYI. And Nick J is adding in the chat that the Giants are on Comcast 720 in case people are having issues with that. So that was Mike Dunleavy Jr. talking about Kuminga and being honest, which I think is all a lot of us are asking for in this world. At a bare minimum, just be straight and honest with other people. It's not too much to ask. And Mike Dunleavy Jr. was very straight with the media in that scenario. He was asked about the exit interview with Kuminga and Steve Kerr, a close friend of mine who's also a source with the Warriors. His sentiments were, if I could only be a fly on the wall for that meeting, because undoubtedly some words were exchanged. Who knows what those words were, but in any event, Mike Dunleavy Jr. being very candid and saying, I have no idea at this point what the future holds. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. And side note, this gives me a chance to plug our Substack and our newsletter. We have a newsletter. First one's going to be sent out very soon. And if you're interested in being on that mailing list, go to dogwild.substack.com. It's entirely free. All you got to do is put in an email address, and that's it. And you will get in your email folder newsletters from us, just providing updates on the program, on the hosts, on all the good stuff happening this summer, especially the 24-hour Steve Kerr filibuster episode will be happening. I don't see a scenario where Kerr is gone. I'm thinking right now, tentatively, July 4th will be that interview, 24 straight hours, where I'm just going to lay down every instance from 2014 to the present day of Steve Kerr's gut and where it's gone wrong. And in case you're curious, if you're a relative newbie, a Golden Dazer rookie, and you're curious, what is this Steve Kerr's gut thing? He basically revealed in an interview a year ago to Sam Gordon that he makes all of his important decisions, not logically, but intuitively. Literally, he said, with his gut. And that makes a lot of sense because a lot of the decisions he makes are nonsensical, and there's no other explanation for the decisions he makes routinely with personnel other than he's listening to his inside voice, and his inside voice is pretty crazy. So that is why when I bring up Steve Kerr's gut and where it's gone wrong routinely, it's because of the fact he makes big decisions based on that gut of his. And I made a promise. I'm a man of my word. We're going to do 24 straight hours of content. And right now, tentatively, I'm thinking July 4th. And if you want more information on that and anything else, I'm also going to be releasing some stories on the Substack page. And the next story is going to be the topic I bring up right now. Again, dogwild.substack.com. Just enter that email address. It is free. Hope you register and get some content from us. There's three options here for the Golden State Warriors when it comes to Steve Kerr and Jonathan Kuminga. And I don't see how there could be any other scenario. Situation one is Steve Kerr stays and Kuminga's gone, right? And you sign and trade him and you hope you get some good value back. I saw someone in the chat bring up, here it is, Nick J brought up that either Kruger or somebody else, a lot of people have actually floated this. I've seen this on social media, especially the idea of a sign and trade to the Nets for Cam Johnson and a first-round pick. To me, that is not enough. And also the Cam Johnson name, which has been floated around a lot for a player who's going to be 29, pushing 30, has never made an all-star game, has never shown consistency, again, for a player pushing 30. But here's the stat which that has always made me very skeptical of Cam Johnson going to the Warriors. And people forget that Steve Kerr was the head coach of not just Team USA for the Olympics in 2024. He was also the head coach of Team USA for the FIBA Cup in 2023. And Team USA did not even medal in that tournament. They lost the bronze medal game to Team Canada. And in that bronze medal game, I'm looking at the box score right in front of me. Josh Hart was playing center. I'm not making that up. Steve Kerr did have Walker Kessler to choose from. He did have Bobby Portis Jr., I guess, to choose from. He did have Cam Johnson to choose from. Josh Hart, in a lot of circles, when we're talking about positions applied to basketball players, some people consider him a guard. Tom Thibodeau uses him in a small ball manner as well. Not as a center, though, but more as a small four, as a big three. Steve Kerr was using Josh Hart as a center when he had Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson in the bronze medal game of the FIBA Cup played 7 minutes and 2 seconds, had 3 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. And the reason why I bring that up is if you're going to trade for someone, especially when it involves Jonathan Kuminga, you can get a hell of a lot more back than Cam Johnson. You also want someone back who's younger because Stephen Curry's turning 38. You do want to think about that. That is like, do not ignore the fact that your core three is old as dirt now, and any one of them could fall to an injury at any time. The risk of that is suddenly very high. Do not pretend that does not exist. Do not pretend your best players are pushing 40. Excuse me. But it's true. Jimmy Butler is going to be 36 next year. I think he turns 36 before the season even starts. Draymond Green turns 36 next March, right? Or April, somewhere around there. Stephen Curry, I know, turns 38 on March 14th. Do not pretend that any one of these three players could go down at any moment. It's why Joe Lacob, at least part of the reason why, he had a 2-timeline plan. Similar to what the Spurs did with Kawhi Leonard. So the Cam Johnson part of it, because I know that's a name some people like, Steve Kerr did not like him. Steve Kerr did not play him. And you could do a hell of a lot better than Cam Johnson if you're trying to trade Jonathan Kuminga. Because unlike Steve Kerr, most other teams see the value in this kid, the potential of this kid. But you actually got to play these players so that they can develop and learn and gain experience. It has been maddening the last 2 days seeing all the rhetoric out there, all the pro-Kerr propaganda, trying to make excuses for the man for misusing Kuminga, all the negative hatred toward Kuminga for months, if not years, all because Steve Kerr makes a decision that immediately puts in an inherent bias in your heads. Steve Kerr benched him. He must be bad. Think independently. Stop forming your ideas based on what Steve Kerr says and does, please. Welcome to Golden Days. And when it comes to Cam Johnson, again, you could do better. And he was not even getting minutes in the FIBA Cup. And F2P, I'm not saying Cam Johnson's a bad player. What I'm saying is you could do better, and Steve Kerr doesn't like him. That's all I'm saying. So when we're looking at options out there, you could either what my opinion on this is don't trade Kuminga if the best you can get is Cam Johnson. Rio, great point as well. Or F Cam Johnson and develop Quentin Post into playing defense and having some post game. You're absolutely right. There's also other young players on this team. Brian, by the way, is mentioning that he has Hulu Live, and it looks like the Valkyries games are on KPIX5. Again, I went through my guide, top through bottom. Maybe some games will be. You might be right that some games will be on KPIX, the CBS affiliate here in the San Francisco Bay Area. But at least for tonight, the game was on ION, and Hulu Live was not an option there. Cuz 1998 is telling me that based on other teams' websites, what does that even mean? What, like Nets.com, like Wizards.com? Or are you sitting here telling me what a few schmoes on Twitter are expressing for their opinions, and you're basing reality on that? I'm sitting here telling you what other front offices, how they feel about Jonathan Kuminga. Most of them see what he is, an insane talent. You can get a hell of a lot better for Jonathan Kuminga than Cam Johnson. That's a joke. Now, let's move on with the sound bites here. Soundbite number 2 is from Steve Kerr. And Steve Kerr was asked about his career, about what's next. Because 1998 is saying, like you. What do you, so you mean other talking heads? Which ones? I don't give a shit about most talking heads. Do you see the other talking heads cover the Warriors? My existence is based on the incompetency of the rest of this landscape. Come on, man. Think independently. And if I sit here and tell you that in terms of NBA front offices, they like him. And look, if you don't believe me, just wait until this offseason. All right. If you want to be a contrarian ass and push back on everything, just wait until you see how everything unfolds. And like everything else, you're going to go, oh, damn. So I was right about that too. So let's move on here. Yeah, see, because 1998 saying yes. Don't believe them. Okay, just stop listening to other opinions. Form your own opinions based off facts, please. Please. God damn, this world sucks sometimes. All right, here is Steve Kerr again. This soundbite pertains to his future. Someone asked him, are you going to retire? Are you going to do this forever? Like, what does the future hold for you, head coach Steve Kerr? And here's his answer. It was awesome, I think. Here's Steve Kerr on whether or not he's going to retire, how much longer he's going to play. Great answer. I'm sorry. Great question. Let's hear the answer.
You view your own future, and how tied do you think it is to kind of Steph and, riding out this era with Steph?
At this point, just year to year, I love my job. It's so much fun. I loved this season. This was a really gratifying year in terms of the players' commitment to each other, their ability to get through individual adversity. I mentioned JK. I thought Moses, was so happy for him the other day. The playoffs kind of went wrong for him a little bit based on the Houston series, and we kind of turned to Buddy, and then Moses comes back and has that great fourth quarter, showing exactly who he is. And I just think up and down the roster, we had guys who were committed, and when you're a coach, that's all you can really ask for. So I loved every second of this year. I love my job, but I know where the team is. I know where the organization is. So I'm perfectly comfortable just going year by year at this point.
Well, let's hope this is the last year. Rio in the chat, gaslighting, baiting. In this case, I'll take it just to call this idiot out, saying, you're dumb if you think Steve Kerr won't play Johnson. Okay, in the world of facts, let me remind you again, Cam Johnson, just 2 summers ago, was on the Team USA FIBA Cup squad. In the most important game or at least the second most important, but the same pattern for the most important, which is the game that they lost to get eliminated from gold medal contention. Cam Johnson played the fewest amount of minutes out of a 9-man roster. That's a fact. So if you have a dumb opinion that he's just going to magically start playing Cam more, that is, again, we're all entitled to opinions. They're just like assholes. We all got them. But in your stupid ass opinion, you think that facts don't matter, which is that when Cam was a player for Steve Kerr, he got 7 minutes in a bronze medal game that Team USA lost, by the way. But you just think magically he's going to get minutes. Agree to disagree on that moronic assumption. Stop assuming things, man. God damn it. And Steve Kerr again, on a year-by-year basis. So, and again, when we play the remaining 3 clips, I think you're going to get a slightly better understanding of where this team is at. I thought I had one more Dunleavy quote. God damn it, I didn't save it. There was one other clip here that I wanted to play of Dunleavy, and I don't have it in front of me. But that clip basically said that, God, I wish I had it. And I'm going to see if I could find it real fast in the middle of a live show. And if I can find it, great. And if not, what are you going to do? But well, I found the story. The premise is, because of the contract situations of Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and Jimmy Butler. Yeah, I don't have the soundbite, so I'll just tell you what he said. But Mike Dunleavy Jr. was asked about the fact that Steph, Dre, and Jimmy Butler all have 2 years remaining on their contracts. And so the reporter was asking Mike Dunleavy Jr., is it safe to say that because each of these players have 2 years remaining on their deals, that's the plan, that you're going to ride with these guys for 2 years? And Mike Dunleavy Jr. pushed back. He said, no, 1 year. Bless you, MDJ, man. Like, thank you for seeing what is the reality of this situation, that Steph's going to be 38, Draymond and Jimmy Butler are going to be 36, and a 2-year plan with those guys as your core 3. Talk about a relief, hearing some logic, some rationale from Mike Dunleavy Jr. saying that, no, it's a 1-year plan. And if it's just 1 year that you're going to go, I don't even know if they're going to go all in, but at least they're going to give it a run with this core as your best players. 1 year sounds night and day better than 2. And what that also tells me is that the organization has a short leash on this core. We shall see. But I loved hearing Mike Dunleavy Jr. say that. And I'm sorry for not having that clip. Next clip, however, if you love Steve Kerr, you're not going to like this one because it exposes just how little of a visionary he is and just how much of a Steph one-trick pony he is. And here's what I mean by that. Listen to the clip. You'll hear for yourself. Steve Kerr was asked about the offense. And the offense, when Stephen Curry did not play this postseason, sucked. Even when Steph played at times, it sucked. This team clearly is mediocre when Steph is not on the court. So Steve Kerr was asked about the offense when Steph is not involved in it. Are you considering making adjustments? Are you considering tweaking things a little bit for those moments when Steph is not out there? What if Steph gets hurt? He's going to be 38 this year. Here's Steve Kerr on that topic.
And so the best way to maximize Steph is to put him in pick and roll and then to have him fly off screens. And I think that's been proven, over the last decade, how powerful that can be. And he is, he's our son. You know, this is a solar system, you know, he's our son. And you're not going to duplicate Steph anytime soon. And so any talk of do we need to change our offensive system, to me is kind of laughable. Like what does that mean? So let's not run Steph off screens. Let's not put Steph in pick and roll. I don't even.
I'm pausing here for 1 second because F2P, I want to highlight what he wrote in the chat here. I agree. It is what's really laughable is hearing this rhetoric, this spin from Steve Kerr. When do we ever see pick and rolls with Stephen Curry? I think a lot of us would be quiet if we saw that system. We hardly have ever seen Stephen Curry run the pick and roll. That was crazy. Anyway, let's finish the clip. But FTP, I felt the same thing.
I'm not even sure how to respond to that. Honestly, it's like what we've done has been incredibly powerful. Steph is, again, one of the all-time greatest players, playing at the peak of his power still, I think, or very close to it. We're going to keep doing what we're doing, and anything else would be a disservice to our team.
He turns 38 this year. How do you not recognize that everything Kerr said about Curry is correct? He is that good. He should be the sun in your system. But he's a human being. He turns 38 this year. You ran him to the ground in the first round series against the Rockets, and this is what happens when you do. Where is the focus on sustainability? Where is the focus? Where's even the acknowledgement that there are 14 other players on this team? And at least it starts to make more sense hearing this stuff. It's like, all right, so this is how Kerr operates. Stephen Curry is his son. Everything else is secondary. And he obviously operates like that. One trick pony, man. And JJ Lee, you might be onto something. That statement alone. And again, I'm not 100% bought on the fact that Kerr's back next year. Because here's what I do know. And Anthony Slater, side note, leaks this stuff out on his podcast. It is funny that he rarely, if ever, writes it in the actual articles and columns he writes. But on the podcast side of things, he lets this slip routinely, that there are factions within the Warriors organization who consistently are puzzled and baffled by what Kerr does in terms of personnel usage. So if you're Jonathan Kuminga and you now suddenly have a little freedom here in terms of deciding who you want to play for next, yeah, the statement like that would be alarming. However, if you're also paying him $30 million a year, does he care as much? I don't know. Well, we shall see. We shall find out. But yeah, Sean McRae, again, says 100% Kerr is back next year. I'm going to say 98%, just because you're right. You're right that in reality, it's a pipe dream to imagine Kerr not being back. But I'm going to give a little 2% wiggle room for the simple reason that the front office does see the madness. They do recognize the madness in all this. Jason Lewis adding that Lacob just doesn't have the balls to fire Steve Kerr. And look, I don't know if it's like a lack of cojones as much as it is Lacob also recognizes how much Stephen Curry loves Steve Kerr. And how could he not? You're a superstar player who has a head coach that looks at you like you're the son. S-O-N or S-U-N, maybe both. So, I mean, what if you're Steph, little disappointing that if he is taking the easy way out here in terms of having a coach who won't challenge him and his teammates and will just acquiesce to everything being about you. But I get it at the same time. It's a tough, complicated scenario. Steve O Knows is writing Kuminga in a deal for Keegan Murray. You better include a hell of a lot more than Keegan Murray. Have you seen how much his play has dipped this season? It's a flag when a player that young suddenly stalls in progressing. I'd want a hell of a lot more than Keegan Murray. Get DeMontis Sabonis in the conversation. Now you're on to something. Sean McRae wants a sign and trade involving Kuminga, add Moses Moody to the mix, add Brandon Pajemski, a first and second round pick to Portland for Denny Avdia, Time Lord, and Kamara. Boom. Get back to me on that one. Get back to me on that one. That's a potentially great call, but also I there's a lot of pieces there. All right, let's continue on. And again, I'm gonna get audience participation at the end of today's program. I promise you. If you want, I'll put the link up right now. If you're willing to wait, it might be a little wait. And I always go in chronological order, except for Chardol. I save him for last. He's a special person. I love people who are unique and bring some spice to this world. But it might be a little wait because I want to get through these sound bites first. All right, next clip is Steve Kerr again. One more Kerr soundbite, and this one is about Kuminga. As I mentioned earlier in the show, one of my dear friends, who is also a great source of Warriors information, texted me, and same friend who a year ago riled some of you up because he said he thinks Stephen Curry is going to retire when his contract expires, and I don't know if that's going to be the case. I have no clue what Steph's going to do. I don't even know if Steph knows what he's going to do, but his text to me was, if only I could be a fly on the wall in that exit interview between Kerr and Kuminga. The only reason why I don't know if the interview would be that interesting is because of Kuminga's language barrier. I don't know if he is even interested in a back and forth. He seems like a very even-keeled individual. Who knows? But anyways, here is Steve Kerr talking about the player that is the focus of all the attention this offseason, Jonathan Kuminga, a player who showed in the postseason he has talent and really made Steve Kerr look bad for the DNPs, for the lack of minutes. Here's Kerr.
Kuminga's future will be kind of the big ticket item of y'all summer. I know that's kind of a Mike decision and process, but if he were to come back, do you feel like it can work in a way maybe better than it has even?
Yeah. I mean, if JK comes back, we will for sure spend the early part of the season playing him with Jimmy, Draymond, Steph. I mean, to me, that would be a no-brainer. We didn't have that luxury this year.
Again, we're going to hear the why they didn't have that luxury this year. But again, if it's a no-brainer, why were you not doing it already? Like, why is it now a no-brainer? When 1 month ago, 2 weeks ago, it was not a no-brainer. This guy's so full of shit. Here's some more Steve Kerr.
Fighting. We've basically been in the playoffs since the minute we got Jimmy. And that was also when JK got hurt. So we spent, whatever it was, 25 games or so without JK, and went on that run. We found a formula that worked. When he did come back, it was a tough fit. But we also didn't have the luxury of just experimenting and giving that more of a runway.
So he didn't have the luxury of experimenting late in the season. First of all, he calls it a no-brainer. Now it's an experimentation. But in the postseason, when it matters most, and Steph goes down, now all of a sudden you can experiment all you want, right? Is that what you're saying? Mr. One-Trick Pony, either Stephen Curry or I don't know what I'm doing. Oh my God, dude.
If JK comes back this year, we have to look at that for sure.
Yeah, but you now you have to, because a part of you is wondering, did I screw this up big time? And if the team decides we're going to give him back and give him a big deal, I got egg in my face, so I got to clean this shit up. Insane. So Steve-O in the chat is asking if Kuminga comes back. He writes that in quotes and saying Kuminga is gone, and if Steve Kerr is going to fight, and is adding Steve Kerr is going to fight to get this guy traded. You might be right, but again, I don't know how much leverage Kerr has to make a demand like that. Part of me thinks maybe like Kerr generally does like him, and Kerr is just very out of touch. I mean, again, this is someone who, for those who love Cam Johnson, he benched Cam Johnson and played Josh Hart as a center in a bronze medal game they lost. This is a guy who was DNPing Jason Tatum because he values role players more, like Tatum's lesser teammates, Derek White and Drew Holiday. I don't know. Again, I don't know if any of this is personal. Like, a part of me actually does believe that Kerr thinks that what he's doing doesn't have the repercussions and the aftermath, the damage that it causes. I don't know if, again, I've used this word before and I'll use it again. I've been using this word for like 2 years now about Steve Kerr. Obtuse. Look it up. Maybe you'll understand now why I've been using this word for 2 years about him. He is obtuse. There are some things that are obvious to everyone else that he just does not see. And again, he's also year to year. So if Kerr's only here for like one more year, let's say, then, I mean, do you listen to him and trade Kuminga when he could be your future? I mean, so we got, and one other thing in the chat here. Nick J brought up that Greg Popovich and Kawhi Leonard couldn't exist. But I will say this, though. They did exist for a while. They won a championship together. And the primary reason why Kawhi Leonard left was 2 reasons, actually. A, he didn't appreciate the disrespect that came from his teammates and from the medical staff and the coaching staff when they basically were telling him to tough it out with the knee injury. He clearly didn't appreciate that. I mean, it goes without saying, and that's really what destroyed the relationship. But he did play. I mean, they won a title together. And again, that knee injury was unfortunate. And I think Kawhi also just really wanted out of San Antonio. But whereas I don't think Kuminga wants out of the Bay Area. I think he actually really likes being here. I think he likes the Warriors organization. We shall see. It is interesting and crazy, but very different scenarios. You're right. It ends up potentially being the same. They both get the hell out of there, but at least Pop was able to win a title with his guy, and he didn't DMP him or limit his minutes. It was just it was a scenario where Pop was very old school and thought he should suck it up and play, and Kawhi was like, "No, I'm listening to my body. This is serious," and it frayed. So next clip. I think this is the last one. 2 more. I'm sorry. 2 more. And the last 2 are from JK himself. Here is Kuminga's thoughts on the exit interviews that he conducted with both Mike Dunleavy Jr. and Steve Kerr. And let's hear it from the horse's mouth. This is JK, a man who is suddenly his own son, if you will. I mean, at least in terms of attention, all eyes are on what's next for this kid. And here is Jonathan Kuminga talking about how the exit interviews went with his head coach and his GM.
How were exit interviews today? Talking to Steve, talking to Mike.
They were great. They were great. Like I told them, things just end. It's gonna take us time to figure it out. What's really gonna happen, things like that. And I spoke to Steve about how you wanted me to just get better at rebounding more. And I feel like I was doing better before I got hurt. And I like where he was going with it. He explained to me little things, finding a resource from him, about things like that, I should hit him up, and I don't have no problem doing that.
Like that relationship's in a fine spot right now.
I mean, since I've been here, we had ups and downs, but he helped me to get here. So, and we had a lot of great moments. So I think our relationship been very good.
So again, he's always taken the high road. there's a lot of people out there who still don't like him because he called out Kerr. Newsflash, friendly reminder, he didn't actually do it. His agent did. I'm sure he gave his blessing, but look, in case you forgot the scenario surrounding that public complaint, and side note, in the same 24-hour window, Moses Moody also publicly complained because they both were just getting railroaded in terms of minute usage. Warriors blew a 20-point halftime lead back when that was actually an unusual thing. Now 20-point leads are blown all the time. But in that game against the Nuggets, an opponent that had their number for at least a year at that point, you have a 20-point lead. Kuminga plays in the first half, contributes to that 20-point lead, and then you DMP him for the entire second half. And he had his fill. I don't blame him. It's like, but again, he complained through his agent. And we see now, nearly 2 years later, was he wrong? I mean, I don't think so. Nick the Greek, in addition to, agreeing with the agent part of it, that the agent is the one who actually complained. Also saying it's idiotic comparing Kawhi Leonard to Jonathan Kuminga. Agreed. Yeah, I'm not comparing the players. All I'm saying is I'd be very curious to see where Kuminga would be in his career now if he had the same trust instilled in him that Pop instilled in Kawhi Leonard. Such a shame. Such a shame. One last clip. And then JJ is waiting to come on. If anyone else is interested as well, I'll do that. Otherwise, we'll call it a wrap. Get started on this weekend. It is Friday, folks. Bravo. Last clip. Jonathan Kuminga again. And this clip is, again, great questioning from this press conference. 2 press conferences, more specifically. Both press conferences, only tier 1 were invited. I did not get notified of that. Again, I have access if I want to make the 2-hour drive each direction, hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever it is, to routinely be at Chase Center. I could do that. But I've learned a couple things. One is Steve Kerr got to this position because he's a master wordsmith. He's a media savant. You're not going to trip him up, asking questions and follow-up questions. Not to mention, if I was that guy in the press sounding like Caitlin Collins, is that her name? The CNN reporter who keeps asking follow-ups at the Trump press conferences. If I acted like that, I would be banned. Like at a certain point, I would be hearing from Raymond Ritter saying, okay, enough questions. All right, calm down. It would not work. So Kerr's entrenched in this. And then the other part of it is, I personally, as an analyst, TV is night and day better. I still don't understand how people who go to every game can properly analyze it, man. It is wild. For everyone at home watching this program right now going, I wish I could go to more games, or I wish I had the insights of a media member. You're getting a much better view watching the game on your television. The advantage of the media member at Chase Center is networking, interviewing. I think that's about it, which is cool in and of itself. But there's just not a big role for me. There's a much point or purpose to go to Chase Center and cover the Warriors from there. I like my comfy confines and having all my own reporters at the scene. One last soundbite again, and the whole reason why I came up with that diatribe is because only tier 1 were invited to these exit interviews. With that said, and I don't think it's a coincidence that the person you're hearing asking the best questions seems to always sound like Anthony Slater. He's good at his job. I've been saying that from day one. Slater knows what's up. Good dude. Side note, I wish we actually were closer. Sometimes just, being competitors just, prevents close relationships. But Slater deserves a tip of the cap. He's doing a great job. And it's no surprise he's the one asking all these questions, because him and Danny Emmerman, to me, are really the only two who grill those in power. And bravo to both of you. Danny Emmerman will be on the show again soon. I love the kid. He's doing a phenomenal job. And I bring all that up because these questions that were asked, a lot of them were fantastic. This question in particular, I loved. And this question pertains to Kuminga and what he needs to hear to decide if he wants to play for your team. Meaning, does Kuminga need to hear assurances from those in power regarding his role. Let's hear what Kuminga has to say about that. This was a fantastic question, and Kuminga's answer is awesome as well. I really like this kid. Side note. Here's Kuminga.
JK, I mean, would you need to hear from this team or your next team that you're in the rotation? There's going to be no question about that. Was that something you want to know when you go decide your future?
I don't know what the future is going to be. It's something that any player would love to hear, going to a different year. So now I'm looking forward to that, and I know it's gonna happen. Somebody gonna talk to me about how things will go next year. But I'm just looking forward to that. I don't know anything about what the future is holding for me. So, but I'm just looking forward to it.
JK, I mean, would you?
And that was it. And I think JK said the right thing. I'll let my agent take care of that. The agent's going to be asking all the questions. I'm confident, though, that JK is going to want to go to a place where he actually gets to play. I think it's a safe assumption on that part. So let's go to JJ. If you're there in the audience, thank you for waiting. And then Brooklyn is going to be on right after you, and then we'll wrap it up. JJ, welcome.
Hey, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Go ahead.
Oh, nice. Hey, it's my first time coming on, on a call. Great. I love your show and everything.
Glad to have
Thank
you,
you
man.
for
I'm
all
really
you
it's
do.
Friday night. Where are you? Let's start there. We got some freedom right now in terms of time. There's, what else are we going to talk about? Where are you? What are you doing?
I'm in San Jose. I'm in Southside San Jose, nearby downtown. I'm actually supposed to be in downtown right now, but I told my friends, fuck off, I don't want to go out today. So
I'm born
decided
and raised
to
in the
tune
San
into your
Francisco
show.
Bay Area, and look, I'm at an age now where the social scene and all that is not that important. It used to be.
Yeah, I don't
especially in my
like
20s. But San Ho, sorry, real quick here, and then I'll let you talk and I'll shut up.
Yeah,
San Ho, in my experience, was one of the worst places a single man could go. And this was before the tech revolution. This was before like the whole scene became like 90% nerdy dudes. So San Ho was awful. I don't know if you're single. What is life like in San Ho for, I'm guessing, a young male like you today?
Well, I just started my 30s. I did have a girlfriend girlfriends for most of my 20s, but right now I'm just chilling. I'm single now, and
enjoy.
Yeah, I kind of stopped socializing. Once I hit my 30s, I'm kind of done with the downtown scene and all that. So yeah.
So now it's Hinge. If you're interested.
Well, I was on Hinge for a little bit, but not anymore.
All right, man. Enough of the social talk. I'm gonna shut up. What's on your mind, brother?
Yeah. So I just want to go back to Kerr's statement about. Kerr's statement about Steph Curry, the office, and all that. Really, really pissed the shit out of me because I don't want to promote another YouTuber's channel on your channel, but he said something that I completely was thinking about to myself. The state of the modern NBA right now, modern basketball right now, each contending team right now in the playoffs, they have a very diverse, offensive identity throughout the board, every one of them. And even within games, even within the series, each game can look completely different because they are able to adapt to the game and fine-tune their offense to that game. So each game, their offense can look completely different, game to game. And so it just comes to show how adaptable and diverse, each contending teams are. But we have freaking Kerr stuck on his small ball and, like Steph Curry centric offense. Like it was so clear. Like
JJ, sorry to interrupt you real fast. But did you hear, did you read or hear the comments from Mike Dunleavy Jr. about how he wants to get bigger this offseason?
Yeah, I heard that too. But
what are your thoughts on that? Because you also have Kerr. I mean, it's like, sorry, go ahead. What were your thoughts on that?
It's ridiculous. Like Kerr is still stuck on his Steph-centric offense. Like, that's outdated. And Steph Curry is old. Like, we've seen what happens when Steph Curry is out of the game. Like, we have no identity. Nobody knows what to do. And we threw JK in the fire, hoping he can do something. But it just doesn't work that way. Like, I don't know. I don't really have a lot of confidence in the next upcoming season, because it just seems like we're going to be stuck in the same ways. And honestly, by his statement, I don't think Kerr is going to use JK the proper way that he should be used at all.
Isn't it crazy how he speaks like it's the obvious thing? Like, of course,
I know.
I'm gonna play him. It's why the hell were you not doing it? Like, this is literally a week ago. It was a week ago you were not playing this guy, and just magically now, because he had a few great performances against Minnesota, now it's obvious. Insanity, dude.
This is crazy.
And JJ, who do you want this offseason? Like, who do you want the Warriors to pursue in free agency or trade or otherwise?
Oh man, I haven't thought of that, but because I need to look, like, you know, the general picture, who's going to be available. But obviously, I think Celtics are going to go in the rebuild.
Rebuild? Oh wow, okay.
I personally believe that. I personally do.
Well, I love hearing that. I think there's going to be a lot of player movement this offseason for reasons like that. You have a lot of teams that realized either, okay, this doesn't work. Right. They might decide, let's just blow this up. Jason Tatum is not coming back at all next year. Maybe Jaylen Brown suddenly becomes available. There could, I mean, like Kuminga for Jaylen Brown, side note.
Woo.
Give me that all day, every day. So there are options. I like where you're thinking, brother.
Yeah, and then this comes to show with, like, this leads into my next point about JK. Like, I've gone into debates with quite a few people about JK who don't like him, and they pull out these numbers like his rebounding, his assist passes, or he doesn't have hands or whatever. These people, they can recite offensive schemes and recite stats, but they don't understand the human element of the game.
No.
Because look, you think Anthony Edwards right out the gate was rebounding and passing, and as you know, he had like 12 assists in Game 5. You think he was doing that right out of the gate? No, he is an athletic player, and these athletic kids, what they want to do is they want to get into their offensive bag first. They need a couple of years to develop that and get it out of their system.
Correct.
And then when you let them do that, then you ask them to take the next step. Like Kerr said, you know, during the Olympics, you take the next step and do the small things like rebounding, like passing and all that. Like JK needs to go through that, you know, through that phase where he works on his offensive identity. And once he feels, you know, secure within himself, then you ask him, hey, can you take the next step? Can you start rebounding? Can you start looking at the floor more and play for your teammates? He needs that, you know, type of development phase. But now we're jumping into like, you got to do everything. Like, no, it does not work that way.
It's look, I'm guessing your friends are very analytics heavy, because I feel like those are the ones who routinely bash Kuminga.
Exactly. They love to pull numbers. They love to pull and recite these offensive schemes.
Here's the part that
Like,
disappoints me. But here's the part that really disappoints me about the analytics nerds. A lot of them rely on these stats that are incredibly subjective. Like there's like there's 3 or 4 different like numbers that certain, I don't even know who these people are, but they've created these formulas and they compute these numbers and that are subjective, right? And you don't even know half the time how this calculation came about. They might have it in the fine print somewhere at the very bottom, but these are subjective calculations, right? And a huge part why I don't look at analytics the same way a baseball reporter looks at analytics, Moneyball style, is because you look at baseball, you look at football, and every possession is a set play. Every possession, whether in baseball it's a pitch and a hit, whether in football it's a snap and then you run your play. Between each play, you're getting like 45 seconds to a minute to set up. Basketball is a sport where you don't do that. It's just back and forth. The game's moving very fast.
Yeah.
And so all the decisions that you'd want analytics for to apply to, you don't have the time to even think about it, right? The analytics are great for certain measures, right? But I don't need analytics to tell me Anthony Edwards is going to be the next Michael Jordan. I don't need analytics to tell me that Stephen Curry has been one of the greatest all-time players the last 15 years. Same for LeBron James. It has its place. There is value to it, but the subjective, I can't remember what the names are. Like, there's a name applied to one of these stats. I can't remember if it's called like the LeBron or what it's called, but dude, I do not look at these and for a second pretend this tells me the reality of a situation. It's cute. It's a good talking point, but don't sit here and tell me that your bogus subjective statistic magically paints an accurate picture of Jonathan Kuminga. It doesn't. And analytics in basketball has a place, but don't pretend it has the same value as it does in baseball or football. But that's just me.
Yeah. And, honestly, you don't think JK can't rebound if he wants to? Like, you truly believe that he can't rebound? I truly believe, like, if JK puts his mind to it, on his maybe 50% effort, he can rebound more than Pods.
Well, who's saying he can't? Because he averaged 24 minutes a game this year and still pulled nearly 5 boards.
Exactly. If he puts his mind to it, he will.
Yeah, he will. And if you look at his per 36, he's averaging like 6 rebounds a game. He's played 40 games in his career, not counting the postseason of where he's played 30 minutes or more. And in those games, he's averaged over 6 rebounds a game. So anybody saying he's not a good rebounder, that's just adding to the ignorance, in my opinion.
And another
JJ, any final thoughts?
Yeah, my final thoughts. Just one more point. When people say that the ball movement, all that, offense stagnates with JK on the ball, no, bro. This is more of a coaching and a culture problem, where the coaching staff is not developing offensive schemes, and the offense for JK. Like, when JK has the ball, nobody knows what to do because nobody knows what to do. They're just icing him out because they don't have reps, so they don't know how to play with him. It's not his fault. Like, I know what it means. I know what that feels because I used to play a lot of soccer as a left winger, and I was really quick, and I like dribbling a lot. And when I play with people my age, they know how to play with me. They know how to play at my speed. But on the off days, off season, when I play with like older people, in their late 20s, like mid 30s, they don't know how to play with the pace that I am. And, they like to play methodically. They like to pass and
let me
slow
ask
the
this,
game
dude.
down.
I don't follow soccer closely or football.
No, but it's just an example. It's like,
but
they just ice me out because they don't know how to play. The same thing's happening with JK. They just don't know how to play with him yet, and that's a coaching staff problem.
Well, and you got to play him to actually learn that stuff. But let me ask this too. Soccer is a great sport to bring up as an example. Is soccer analytics heavy?
Not as basketball, not as heavy as basketball, no.
Well, that's my point. It's like soccer to me reminds me a lot more of basketball than say football or baseball, where the pace of the game itself is super slow. You have all these breaks in between each position where you can think about what you're going to do next. Soccer, basketball, it's just free flowing. It's constantly moving. I don't know where you have the time to apply analytics in a sport like that. I think analytics has some role in terms of like free agency and deciding who you should and shouldn't go after in trades and free agency. But even then, man, it's just, I don't know, man. The analytics thing, if you're over reliant on it in basketball, I don't think it's going to get you answers. Like Ryan Russillo, I listen to the Simmons pod him and Ryan Russillo release an episode every Sunday, and it's entertaining stuff. And I grew up reading Simmons, even though he totally defamed Rick Barry, and I have a massive grudge against him for that. But he's still entertaining, brings up a lot of good points. And when him and Russillo have that Sunday show, Russillo oftentimes will get egg in his face because he's so reliant on analytics that he's the one who ends up being wrong in a lot of instances, largely because of that over-reliance. Factor it in as one equation of a bigger picture, and you're absolutely right, dude. The human nature element is another reason why analytics misses in basketball routinely. I'm totally with you there. Anything else? You good?
Yeah, I just wanted to get that off my chest. I mean, the same thing was said about Kevin Durant when he played. Like, we played the better Warriors brand of basketball when he was out. Like, all that, the ball movement stuff. Like, no, Kevin Durant can create his own shot. You don't need to run all that movement and scheme for him. And, the same good with JK. Like, if he develops right.
All right, I'm going to get to Brooklyn here, but before you go, JJ, because you're joining us from San Ho, Nick J in the chat said San Ho has Latina baddies. No disagreement there. My one critique of San Ho, and I don't think it's changed from when I was in my 20s, cruising around trying to find the right clubs or the parties. The ratio, dude. I don't know if you know the phrase sausage party. San Ho is just way too much sausage cooking. That's my issue with that scene. No doubt it's got its baddies, but the ratio has a lot to be desired. Am I wrong on that, JJ? Am I missing the mark?
No, you're on the mark. And
just get the ratio evened out, man, and I'll hype up San Ho. JJ, come back soon, all right, brother? You were fantastic for first time caller.
Great.
Have a good night, brother. Thank you. Brooklyn is on the show. Welcome.
Hey, you can hear me good because I'm in the bathroom. I don't know how the audio is. It's good?
You're good. You're fine. I like it, man. I like how you roll. Are you actually dropping a deuce or are you hiding from someone?
Oh, no, I'm just trying not to wake up the rest of the house.
You're good. You're good. Floor's yours.
Yeah, I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome. Where are you at?
Brooklyn. Like, Brooklyn. Listen, Brooklyn Warrior. I've been a Warrior fan since, like, Eric Dampier, Muggsy Bogues, a lot of people don't even know John Starks played for us before. Like, I'm just way back with it.
Yeah, I forgot about Muggsy, dude. I forgot about that. But yeah, John Starks, brief stint. Yeah.
Yeah, I go back to the Warrior times. But with Golden State, man, I'm gonna get to 3 quick points. For one, it was an article that came out, and I don't know how true it was, but I was like, they said Kerr got mad at Kuminga because he looked off Curry and went for his own shot.
Yeah, we talked about that on here. We brought that up. Logan Murdoch of The Ringer reported that, and his report basically stated that what Kuminga was doing was using Stephen Curry to create his own shot. God forbid, bro. Like, oh my God. What a horrible crime that one of your teammates who has all this gravity is creating easy opportunities for you. In Steve Kerr's mind, he's a criminal. It's insane.
But look at this. We always say Curry needs help scoring the ball, right? He need a second alpha. You got a young small forward with that alpha and athleticism, and you shooting it down. That's crazy. My second thing is we all know Kerr run the small lineups. Green got to play the 5. Everybody's just small. Draymond Green toxic, all out of control. My thing is this though. At what point do we look at Steph Curry and say, hey, you got the power to hold them accountable? Because if Curry goes to Kerr and say, yo, these lineup is too small, it's not feasible. Hey, Green, you need to, he doesn't do that. So it's like Kerr is running wild. I seen the lineup, I seen Gary Payton out there, Pods out there. I looked at the lineup like, what the hell am I looking at? And nobody holds them accountable. And it's like Curry got the power to do it, and he don't do it. So at some point,
I've never criticized Steph for a thing, and for the first time in my life, I have something to criticize him just a little bit for, and that's hold your coach accountable. Because if he says it, Kerr will do it. I don't doubt that. But something tells me Steph is like just respecting the boundaries and the roles, and again, he's such a benefactor.
Yo, it's not cool, and that's the only thing I give LeBron over him, and I hate to give LeBron anything over Curry, but LeBron, he hold their ass to the fire. You see when the Lakers got bumped and James was like, we don't have a center, this and this. I'm like, well, look at Golden State. We don't got a center.
I know. It is crazy, dude. It is crazy.
And nobody speaks to it. And then with the Butler thing, I got killed in another chat. People don't say nothing bad about Jimmy Butler because we had a good regular season ending record with him. Don't say nothing bad about it. Only thing I'm saying about Butler is if you demanding that money, because it goes up to 60 mil next year, you demanding
next year it's 54. The year after that is 60.
Yeah, you
it's still a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot.
You demanded this money. You demanded this. Don't demand it, and then all his interviews is, I'm robbing. You letting Pods shoot all the shots. My stomach, bro. I was so sick to my stomach. He just easily deferred. And the type of personality Butler is, if you get on his case about it, it's gonna go toxic real fast.
Yeah, you got to play that delicately. You're absolutely right. I will, and again, my defense of Butler, because he did get some heat for the way he played this postseason, rightfully so. As you said, man, he's making the big bucks. He's playoff Jimmy. He demanded it. You're absolutely right. But the only reason why I'm not maybe as critical or as maybe you think I should be, do the Warriors, they went through such a hard stretch there, starting with April 23rd. I think that was game 3 of the Rocket series. From that point on, from April 26th through now, their last game was 2 days ago, right? 2 or 3 days ago. They never had more than 1 day off. It was an insane stretch, dude. They played like games 4, 5, 6, 7 of Houston, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of Minnesota, all consecutively with just 1 day in between. And Steph wasn't around for like half of that. So they're human beings. Like, there's only so much they can handle. And
but look, listen to this though. For our Warriors, I respect that point. But Butler, didn't he miss a lot of games on the Miami side due to suspensions and stuff? He can't use that excuse. You had a lot of time off this season. That wasn't even injury time, just suspension time. So, but I'm gonna get off of Butler. It's just like with Kerr, somebody gotta, I don't know if Dunleavy got enough power or say so yet, but that small ball stuff, we can't go into next year with Green playing the 5, Butler playing the 4. That's it. It's over.
Anything else, man? Or you nailed it. I have no pushback.
Oh, that's it. In
Right.
the off season. Hey, what do you think? I wanted us to try to. You know how Durant said he didn't come to us because he didn't want to move mid-season. We know that's BS, right? Because if we try to trade for him right now, he's still gonna not. You understand?
I do.
Who do you think we could? Call me crazy. What about Embiid? I know he injury prone. Is there any chance?
Embiid, that's a good one. I don't think the Warriors would pursue him personally, and a large reason for that is the contract. He makes so much money. Like the team I'm looking at for an Embiid, and I could be crazy saying this, maybe it makes sense, is the Lakers. Like that's the team that I think will roll the dice with Embiid.
Yeah,
they would. They love their bigs. They'll play them. It seems like a good fit with LeBron, and Luka. I could see. I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't be like thrilled about it just because he's so injury prone and he's on the wrong side of 30 now. But I don't know. I don't see it happening. I could be wrong. That's all.
I just can't have Green at the 5 and Butler at the 4 next year.
I'm with you on that. I'm 1,000% with you on that. That's a Steve Kerr thing, man. I'm with you.
But yeah,
right, like John Brown in the chat is saying, trade Green for a big that can defend and shoot. How do you know Kerr's going to play him? That's my question I ask of everybody. Like, how do you know Kerr's going to play him, man? It's crazy they have a coach who does that, but that's the reality of the situation.
Could you
people sometimes go, Cy, why do you care so much? Because the Warriors have a head coach who's crazy. And I'm the only one who sees it sometimes. It's insane. Dude, you're awesome, brother. Any final thoughts?
Yeah. Could you imagine if Kuminga could just play small forward and not be forced to play power
forward?
I
can imagine it. Yes, I can. Yeah.
But that's it, bro.
Have a great night, man. Good joining us. How is real quick before you go, dude, housing in Brooklyn, you have a similar situation to us here in California where it's just insanely expensive, very limited availability. How do you have a roof over your head in Brooklyn? If you don't mind me asking. If that's too personal, ignore.
This bathroom is probably like 80% of the house. But really, it takes 2 people. 2 people with 2 girls. But this bathroom is about 80% of the house.
Dude, I got some shit the other day from someone who's like, dude, you own the house in California, man. How dare you pretend like you're one of the people? It's like, dude, there are places in California that are affordable, You just can't live near San Francisco, near LA. Like, you got to be way out in the sticks. I am way out in the sticks. There's a house down the street from me that's actually affordable. If someone wants to be my neighbor. It's not, dude, just because it's in California doesn't mean it's immediately like just, I'm blessed. I mean, look, I live 2 hours away from San Francisco, man. You're in Brooklyn. Bravo to you.
Hey, listen, the fact you can put gas in your car in San Francisco tells me you kind of up there.
I got a truck, dude. Yeah, I mean, I keep looking at electric cars all the time, man. I don't want to, but I like the power. I like the size. I guess there are like electric trucks, though, right? Do you even have a car in Brooklyn?
Yeah. But make sure you get your car insurance out of state.
Come back soon, all right, man? You were awesome, Brooklyn.
Dub Nation, man.
Have a good night, brother. Thank you so much. Is Sean, we got 2 more callers, 3 more callers. Is Sean Didgeridoo? Is that like a didgeridoo? The musical instrument from Australia? We'll find out in a second. Is Sean in Walnut Creek? Last time you were on the show, you were depressed. How are you feeling today?
Much better. I mean, I know the Valkyries lost, but I actually was kind of entertained. I saw Julie Van Loo scoring 9 points in a row. I was going crazy.
I like her.
And then, I mean, Kerr would have played her 40 minutes if he had the chance. Yeah, man. She would have been riding for Kerr all game long.
Did you actually watch the game?
Yeah, I did. It was pretty close until the fourth quarter. Then it was just...
Sean, if you don't mind, I'm going to use your appearance to share this clip with the audience who's still with us this late. And for the YouTube audience, please forgive me, but I don't know if the Warriors or the Valkyries posted this, but they posted this little video clip on their Twitter account, and I think you may or may not like this. I don't know. Just watch this and enjoy. I'm going to mute it because the audio is worthless. But here is a quick camera pan of everyone sitting courtside at the Valkyries game tonight. So there's Steve Kerr. Oh, and real quick, by the way, side note, I'm guessing that's Steve Kerr's wife, who once came after me on social media. I kid you not, man. I've heard some interesting things about her. I imagine she's a nice lady, but she did once actually come after me on social media. True story. All right, here. So that's Steve Kerr and his wife. There is Pods repping. There is Looney. There's Buddy. There's Kuminga. And there's the owner, Joe Lacob! That's what they were talking about. Are we sure he's going to go somewhere? Are we sure he's going to go somewhere? Is Sean, your thoughts?
I don't know, but I wish I went to that game because courtside tickets were only like $800.
No, they're going to get cheaper. They're going to get cheaper. This was the first game. Like if they were just $800 for the franchise opener, you're going to get some cheap seats to the Sear courtside. That's a great call.
Yeah, and then I would have been able to empathize with Kuminga. And I'll be like, sorry for whatever's happened, but you need to go somewhere. Your coach has to go somewhere. But like, yeah, I mean, I do agree that obviously the Warriors have to get bigger, but the first step is to move on from Kerr. Like, there's so many big men you can get, like Claxton, Lively, Gafford. I feel like the Mavs are gonna move either one of Gafford or Lively, so that would be a good pickup. I mean.
And again, I know this sounds crazy, but do not rule out the possibility of Kuminga coming back and Steve Kerr having an about face. I know it sounds insane, but it wouldn't surprise me, as weird as that sounds, if Kuminga did come back and if Steve Kerr actually did just kind of tell the front office, I was wrong. I'm going to play this kid from now on. And he tells Kuminga the same thing. Would not surprise me, brother. And I know that sounds insane to some people, but you just saw right there. That visual, there is something to see from that, dude. Joe Lacob loves this kid. He sat Kuminga right next to him. It would not be the most mind-blowing thing in the world if he played. By the way, Jonathan Brand bringing up a great name for a vet minimum. But again, this would involve Steve Kerr actually playing him, and that's Andre Drummond. Sign me up. I've been wanting a guy like that on the Warriors for years, man. I'm all in for that. A veteran minimum deal, someone who can actually make life difficult for the other team, grab you boards, play some defense. I'm all in. Ishan, any final thoughts? I want to get to Desiredu or whatever. I'm sorry for the mispronunciation, and then Chardol. Any final thoughts, Sean?
I don't want that. I don't want Kerr to come back because I want to go to that party. Also, I don't know. I mean, Kerr said the same bullshit last year when they lost to the Kings. So I don't know if it's like a cycle with him, but I don't know. Let's see. I just hope.
See. Have a good night, Ishan. Thanks for coming on, and thanks for the support as always. Let's go to how do you pronounce your name? Please correct me. Desirio?
Hello? Yeah, Desirio.
Hello.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm not my bad. Andre Drummond, I don't think he's a good idea. Like, if you're gonna get a center, get maybe like Brook Lopez at least.
Again, but first of all, hold on. How do I pronounce your name first of all, so I don't mess this up anymore?
Desirio.
Okay. Yeah, Brook Lopez, you can't get for the veteran minimum. Brook Lopez, I think you have to trade for. Andre Drummond, veteran minimum, free.
Isn't he a free agent?
Brook Lopez?
Yeah, because I saw a report on ESPN saying the Warriors were.
He might be. I haven't done my research at all. Look, if both those players are available for the veteran minimum, then give me Brook Lopez. I thought Brook Lopez was still making decent money, and you would have had to trade something for him, whereas Drummond was absolutely free. If the choice is 2 veteran minimums for no trade, I guess I'd lean Brook Lopez over Andre Drummond.
Yeah, because Andre Drummond's kind of old right now, and honestly,
so is Brook Lopez though. So is Brook Lopez.
Yeah, because Brook Lopez is actually a free agent.
Okay, T in the chat. Again, I haven't done my research on this at all yet. We will do plenty of free agent shows in the near future.
Yeah.
So thank you for everyone for
But
informing
yeah,
me.
I mean, but he got paid like he got paid a lot. I ain't gonna lie. They paid him 23 mil. So if he's trying to get that much money, we shouldn't do that. But honestly, the Kerr and the Joe Lacob at the WNBA game, that surprised me. Kerr, I thought Kuminga was gone. Honestly, I thought we are gonna sign and trade.
Yeah, that makes you rethink things, right? Like,
yeah,
it's
now is Draymond gone now? Like that's what I'm thinking. Like on the low, like because Draymond for I don't know what Giannis, like because that was crazy. Because I don't think Kuminga might stay, but like honestly, if we could get him for Cam Johnson and D'Anthony Melton, that would be good. Yeah. And maybe a first.
That's not why you came on here, man. What's on your mind, brother?
Huh?
I said, I'm guessing that's not why you came on here, though. What's on your mind?
I mean,
or maybe it is. I don't know. Forgive me if that is. I thought you. I thought you had some.
It's because like,
yeah.
I mean, like, I was gonna talk about like Kuminga's fit and his role, and like, I mean, if we trade Draymond and stuff, like, I feel like Kuminga maybe would fit better because we have a little more spacing, but still. I don't see Draymond getting traded, so like honestly, the best choice at this point would be just trade Kuminga because honestly, when we play him with Steph, it's like, and I'm telling you, Steph, he doesn't want Kuminga. I'm telling you, bro.
Again, you might be right. Who knows? I just
because another YouTuber too, another YouTuber like I'm not gonna promote him or something, but like he was saying like he heard on like one of the games like he heard like. Steph saying like I want Gee. When
no. Okay, no. I know exactly what you're talking about. This was everyone saw it. There was it was not a secretive thing. This was one game, and I don't know if you remember about halfway, maybe 2/3 through the season, Gee Santos started to get a run. And I think we all loved watching him play, man. He brought energy. He's a connector. I love Gee, man. And we have one of our audience members who infamously coined him as Gooey Santos. So there was early in that period, there was one game, and I can't remember which the game was, but Stephen Curry was shouting, "Bring Gee in." He wanted Gee. And it was this one moment where he called for it, and Gee Santos came in the game. Because Stephen Curry is ultimately the boss here. That's the extent of what happened. Like, I'm not reading more into that. I don't know. It's because I don't know the YouTube like what I don't know. I just heard it. Somebody was saying like they're pointing that out, and I found it interesting. But yeah, honestly, I really don't see Kuminga staying. Honestly, who knows? We'll find out, man.
I feel better for this team, honestly, if we're just gonna keep Draymond and because Draymond, I mean, like his defense is just his defense at this point, and at this point, I think. Jimmy Butler, he like after that game 3, he just gave up. He gave up. Honestly, he saw like after that how he performed and he couldn't do it. And Steph was injured, and it was like, and we can't be OKC like these other people. It's tough
without
out here. And they were because we won 17. Like
next year's gonna be a trip, man. We'll see what happens. You might be right, dude. Maybe they trade Kuminga. It's going to be fascinating stuff, dude, and we're going to be live also reporting. So
we need Cam Johnson and like D'Anthony Melton, like those two, they can space and D'Anthony and Melton. We need D'Anthony Melton. That like if he doesn't get injured, that's perfect. We start him over Pods. Pods gets on the bench because I love Pods. Like there's a lot of Pods haters and like I like Pods honestly, but honestly I would still like if he could go on the bench and be like. Our primary like ball handler on the bench and stuff, so we could like just primarily like get defense and stuff. And like we can't re-sign GB2 and like come on, like we can't re-sign them. Like honestly,
now we got a hater in the chat. And again, T, I open the doors for anyone to come on if you want to push back. And T is a Steve Kerr stan, is an apologist saying Kerr deserves criticism, but. This show preaching to fire him is all about clicks.
Nah. I don't agree.
You must be new here. This has been nearly 3 years now of Steve Kerr driving people insane. And if you don't think he should be fired, my question to you is why? Because of really way in the past accomplishments? I mean, he's never developed a player, not once. We just played clips from the interview tonight, or of his exit interview, where he's literally contradicting himself from things he said just 2 weeks ago. Look, you can be a fan of his. It's your right. But one thing we don't do here on this show ever is clickbait. I'm genuine in saying this team needs a new direction. And I'm genuine in agreeing with a lot of people who are very concerned about the future direction of this organization if he's the one calling the shots. Because he's shown time and time and again, he's not trustworthy when it comes to deciding who should and who should not play. It's agree to disagree beyond that. But I push back on the clickbait thing. This is not a clickbait show. I
feel like you guys hate on Kerr a little too much though. Like sometimes Kerr with the lineups, he does deserve hate, but like this is the reason the hate is like it's because the disconnect. It's the disconnect between it's the disconnect between the front office and the coaching staff. Because honestly, Kerr, the problem was he was trying to maximize Stephen Curry, prime Stephen Curry, and like he didn't really, I guess, like pay attention to developing, like I guess, Moody and stuff. Because Moody at this point, Moody is like, we're at year 4 at Moody, and he became unplayable in the playoffs. Like Moody is concerning. Like I'm scared for Moody. I'm really Pods. I'm really positive about Pods. Like Pods by year 3.
Here's real. I got other people waiting, so I'll just leave it on this note, and you could have a final take if you want. But look, any player who's young, if they're not given a consistent run early on, they're not going to develop. And what you see with Moses Moody, what concerns me is 1 minute he feels like his role is safe. He's a starter. The team had like a stretch with like they were 17-0 at one point. I'm spitballing, but the number is very close to that in terms of them being undefeated with Moody in the starting lineup. It was some insane stat. And then one game he has a one bad game or Kerr sees one thing subjectively where he suddenly thinks Moody's not a fit. And then he gets DNPs. He sees his minutes go down from 30 to 5. The handling of players like that, especially young players, and we've had multiple very credible reporters, coaches, so forth, coming on the show affirming this take. You're not going to develop talent if you treat players like that. You can't. Certain veterans can handle it. They're role players. They've gone through this grind. They accept who they are. A young player who's drafted as a lottery pick, treating them like that, that is not the way to go, man. Something tells me, and I could be wrong, but something tells me if you actually just gave Moses Moody a consistent role, you're our 6th man. You're going to be playing 25 minutes a night. That's your role. And unless you go on like a 2-month-long slump, which side note Buddy Hield did, and Kerr did not penalize him for that, you're fine. Your role is safe. Players, individuals, as that first caller on the show tonight mentioned, they're human beings. There is a human nature element to this that analytics will not pick up. And one of those human nature aspects is if you have a young player, you can't mess around with his minutes and his role like that. They're going to lose confidence. They're going to lose, whatever faith they have in themselves, because all they're going to do is start questioning their own abilities. And now your coach is getting in your player's head instead of supporting them, nurturing them, giving them confidence. It's the complete opposite. And if you think that's not a fireable offense, it's okay. We can just agree to disagree.
No, but Moody wasn't doing good. He wasn't attacking shooting. Like Moody was really bad in Houston. You can't lie. Like Steve Kerr had to DNP. No, I'm sorry. Like he was playing.
Okay, well, agree to disagree that he had to DNP.
Like, I mean, like, was he playing good? Like, honestly, was he playing good? Like, he was shooting bad from 3. He was doing. Did you see in Memphis in Minnesota? It's a fast break. Pods and Moody. And he airballs. Like he needs to lock in. Like I can't lie. I'm not gonna hate on Kurt because he benches Moody when he's not playing good. Like I'm sorry. Like
Buddy Hield shot air balls and he just kept getting minutes. Why does Buddy Hield get an extended run and 30 different second chances, but Moses Moody does not?
But
why does Pajemski get an endless leash, but Kuminga does not?
Pods is because he's the ball handler. We need ball handlers. So
again, I remember you on the show before. I don't put the same amount of weight on ball handling as you do. Some teams don't even have a traditional point guard anymore because they realize how unnecessary of a position that is. A modern point guard needs to be able to do more than just handle the ball. They need to score. They need to play defense. And Pajemski has not shown consistency. He hasn't shown in any measurable that he's any more deserving of regular minutes than Kuminga or Moody, yet Pajemski gets a leash. He was airballing threes too, man. And you're still defending Curtis by that.
Hey, you remember Pat Spencer? Remember when Pat Spencer got minutes?
Yeah, and then he did it, yes.
He's a ball handler. Pods, he got minutes. He's a ball handler. We need a ball handler. That's
okay,
why
agree to disagree. Agree to
Wait,
disagree, but
so
I don't think
who's-
ball
who would
handler
ball hand-
being able
okay,
to dribble a ball in the NBA when you're the most elite basketball player on the planet, dribbling a ball is not enough for me to give someone extended
I'm
minutes. And that's
confused.
one of many failings of Steve Kerr is how much value he puts on dribbling a ball. It's asinine. It's asinine, dude. This ain't
Okay.
college. This ain't high
So do you
school.
trust-
These guys can bring the ball up the court and not worry about getting picked. It's insane. It's insane. Look, I got to run, man. You love Steve Kerr. That's your right. But agree to disagree that ball handling should be that high of a variable in terms of deciding who should and should not play. Never mind the fact that Moses Moody's a perfectly capable ball handler. Never mind that Jonathan Kuminga is a perfectly capable ball handler. That is an insane reason to keep giving faith to certain individuals. Nick, you're on the show. How are you doing? And then Shardall and we're out.
What's up, Cy?
Hey.
I want to start by saying that, I don't think you're clickbait. I don't think you're doing none of that. I think you speak your mind and you take risks, and you state your point. So I respect that.
Thank you, brother.
I don't think it's clickbait. And then second of all, I do think that Kerr's decisions is inexcusable these last couple of years. I think when it comes down to it and you just look at the track record, you look at the history, it's inexcusable what he's done. From Anthony Lamb, Ty Jerome, to
Corey Joseph, Michael Mulder, Brad Wanamaker, Quinn Cook, Swaggy P. There's a long list.
There's a long list, and you're absolutely right about that. And so I think that Kerr's mistakes are inevitable, and going into this offseason, we're going to see Kuminga shipped out for sure. There is going to be a trade for Kuminga. If I'm saying there will be a trade for Kuminga.
Even with that clip you just saw, you still think he's out?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
All right.
Or Draymond Green is out. So one of
even
these
though
two.
Stephen Curry looks at Draymond as his bodyguard, as a sidekick, Jimmy Butler calls himself Robin. The real Robin is Draymond Green in Stephen Curry's eyes. You still think Draymond's out?
I think that either Draymond or Kuminga is out because one of those two has to play the four in Steve Kerr's system, and I don't see Steve Kerr being out just yet, just given the way that the end of the season conference went down. Mike Dunleavy and Steve Kerr, when I heard the two of them speak, that's when I was certain that at least Steve Kerr's not going to be gone this next season. But at the same time, we've heard Dunleavy speak about Jordan Poole, and he was out in the next weekend. So I'm not sure about that, but I think that the excuses that Kerr made, that the team made, is inexcusable. And going into this offseason, we're going to see Kuminga moved and a lot of changes underway.
Before we go, Nick, two things. One, where in the world are you? Because I feel like I'm asking everybody this. I forgot to ask Days Rio of that. Sorry. I think he told me last time he's from the Bay Area somewhere. Forgive me for that. Where are you in the world? And who do you want to trade Kuminga for?
I'm in the Bay Area, and I would trade Kuminga.
We're in the Bay. It's a huge area. What city?
I'm in the South Bay. So San Jose.
More specific, man. I like specificity. What city?
San Jose.
Okay, so did the sausage party references earlier resonate with you, or do you disagree? Do you think the social scene there is even?
Yes, the social scene down here is even 100%.
Props to you. I like that. That tells me
100%
you're successful in your ventures. Good for you. Good for you. And who do you want to trade Kuminga for?
I would trade Kuminga for a lot of players, because at this point, how many minutes are we playing? We're playing.
Give me 3
20
names
to 25 minutes a game.
that are
yeah, I got you. Let's go with Zion Williamson, Giannis Antetokounmpo as a reach, and then as our base, we will go with Cameron Johnson from the Brooklyn Nets.
So even though Steve Kerr didn't play Cam Johnson and he was out of his rotation in
all right, fine. Let's scratch Cam Johnson and let's go for Bobby Portis
for Kuminga. So you think this is fair swap? You know what?
No, that's not a fair swap. Let's add Kevin Durant to that list. Let's add Kevin Durant.
What about a name that came up earlier? And I didn't even think of this until during this show, and now it's in my head, and now I'm going to fantasize about this. What if there was a shot, even if it's slim, but there's a shot that the Celtics would make Jaylen Brown available, and all you got to send back
I would do that
is
so quickly.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Thank you.
Yeah, I would
You get
ship
it.
out the
You get it.
youth. I would ship out Draymond, and I would ship out Kuminga for Jaylen Brown. Because all we really need is we need a second ball handler and creator next to Steph Curry.
Dude,
And
like
the
that's
rest
a
of it is
trade.
settled.
Sign me up all day, every day. Jaylen Brown loves the Bay Area. Side note, he played at Cal. I don't know if the Celtics would trade him, but now that fantasy's in my head. Anyways,
Yeah, I mean, I
Julian
think either
Bashir
way.
saying the answer is Jaren Jackson Jr. I wouldn't
that
hate
is
it.
the
I
correct
just-
answer, and I think that's absolutely right. You know, I would trade Jaren Jackson Jr. for Kuminga any day of the week, just based on the fact that Steve Kerr is our coach. If it was another coach, I would say no. But given the fact that we have Steve Kerr, and that is undisputed for the next year, just given the situation, I would do that trade in a heartbeat.
All right, great call. Have a great night, man. Thanks for jumping in.
Good night, Seth.
Bye, Nick. Who's finding success in the South Bay? That's not easy. Shardal, you are wrapping the show up. I'm gonna shut my mouth. How are you doing?
Hey, Sai, I'm a big fan of your YouTube channel. I love all your content videos on the platform. I think you do a great job.
Thank you. Thank you, brother.
Tough loss for the Golden State Valkyries. They fall to the LA Sparks 84-67.
Did you watch it?
I didn't watch the game. But I saw the final score on my phone. And I saw that they lost. I think they're a newly created expansion team under head coach Natali Nakase, President Jess Smith, and General Manager Oama Nayanen.
Good job.
3 great women. Those are 3 great women. I respect those women. I respect the Valkyries. I'm gonna watch some more games on TV, root this team on as much as I can. What were your thoughts on the loss tonight for the Valkyries? And do you think
they
they're gonna
kept it close. They kept it close at the end of the first half.
and you think that they're gonna think they're gonna bounce back in their next game?
They're an expansion team. I said this morning and side note, Sophia Jones and Kevin Deanna, thank you so much for joining this morning's program. It was a very short and sweet program. They are your radio voices for the Golden State Valkyries. And I told them this, and I'll repeat it tonight. They're an expansion team. I'm going to cover the Valkyries the way everyone else covers the Warriors, especially the last 3 years. It's all going to be positive. I'm going to turn my head to all the negativity and pretend it doesn't exist because they're an expansion team, dude. Like no one should have high expectations.
I mean, that's
for a team in year one.
I mean, that's a big honor for Kevin Dana and Sophia Jones to be the
huge right.
broadcasting team for the Golden State Valkyries. That's a big thing for them. I'm a big fan of Kevin Dana. I watched him when he was calling Santa Cruz Warriors games on TV. I'm a big fan of him. I wish him the best of luck. Doing play-by-play commentary for the Valkyries moving on in the season.
Call
I
of
hope
Duty play-by-play? Are you playing Call of Duty right now?
And I said play-by-play commentary.
Oh, commentary. I thought you said Call of Duty. I'm like, dude, video games? I'm ready.
And I said, so I'm going to wish him the best of luck doing play-by-play commentary for the Valkyries. Wish the guy the best of luck. He's a great guy. I haven't got to meet him, but I'll definitely get to meet him one day. Now I'm going to transition over to the 49ers.
Okay.
We have breaking news. The San Francisco 49ers just signed Brock Purdy to a 5-year, $265 million extension through 2030.
What are your thoughts?
I'm a big fan of Brock Purdy, man. That's like he's my quarterback. He's gonna be my quarterback till 2030. I wish him the best of luck. He's gonna take the 49ers to the promised land in the upcoming season. The 49ers 2025 season opens up with them facing off against the Seattle Seahawks at Lumen Field. So they're going to be facing off against Seattle to open up the 2025 season. So I'm excited for the Niners season. Brock Purdy's going to be great. George Kittle's on the team. You got Christian McCaffrey on the team.
What's Grant Cohen saying about Brock Purdy? Does he like him?
Grant Cohen loves Brock Purdy. I mean, he's our quarterback.
All right.
He's going to stay on this team till 2030. Wish him the best of luck moving forward.
Is any media members who cover the Niners against Brock Purdy? Like, is there anyone out there who covers the Warriors that you watch or listen or read to? And sorry for the poor grammar there, but that doesn't like Brock Purdy. Like, is there anyone out there questioning?
all 49er fans love Brock Purdy. I mean, nobody has said anything negative about Brock Purdy at this point.
Right.
Nobody has said anything bad, anything that's derogatory about him.
I love it. I love it. All right, sounds good, man. We shall see what happens with Brock Purdy. I know he got a massive deal.
So, what are your thoughts on the Valkyries, and what do they need to do if they want to bounce back in their next game?
They just first of all, they have a player they have a couple players I really like from watching their game tonight. I have some favorites. I think Julie Van Loo is at the top of my list. Fantastic point guard. I feel like she's the perfect player for an expansion team. Like the aging veteran. You know, you got the what was Kevin Costner's character's name in Bull Durham? Like she's got like that old veteran on the last of her legs. You know, guiding the young players, like, you know, the placeholder for an expansion team. So Julie Van Loo is on my list. Tiffany Hayes had an awesome game tonight, and I'm looking at the box score now. She led the team in scoring, so that makes perfect sense. Yeah, this is just a feel it out year, man. Look, are you old enough to remember when the San Jose Sharks were an expansion team?
I heard about that when they were an expansion team, and now in the NHL draft, the Sharks have the number 2 pick, and the Islanders have the number 1 pick. The Sharks dropped to number 2, and the Islanders moved up to number 1. I can't sleep over that because we're picking number 2 in the draft now. The Sharks have Will Smith, Macklin Celebrini, and we're looking to get some more. We're getting some more picks in the upcoming NHL draft.
Sure. Who's Macklin's dad?
Rick Celebrini.
Yes, sir. How crazy is that?
That's like Macklin Celebrity's dad is the strength and
he's the head doctor. He's the head of all medicine for the Warriors. Yeah. Is Macklin living up to the number 1 pick hype?
Macklin Celebrity is a good pick. I mean, he got drafted number 1 in the draft. I mean, he's a great player, man. Like he's just the heart he brings. He's like a comparison I could make for Macklin Celebrini. He's like Steph Curry. He signs autographs for every single guy that comes in. Macklin Celebrini signs every autograph for everybody before he leaves. That's what Stephen Curry does. He's so kind to all his fans.
So he's not a bust, right?
He's not a bust. Macklin Celebrini is one of the greatest players on the Sharks.
All right, that's good. That's a relief.
I love Macklin.
All right, so the Bay Area sports team. There's a lot going on tonight. Valkyries franchise opener. Joe Lacob and Jonathan Kuminga are best friends. The Niners give Brock Purdy a massive contract extension they may or may not regret 6 months to 2 years from now. And then the Sharks are even though they had a bad year this year, their number 1 pick was not a bust in his rookie season. So I think that's all generally good news, right?
That's really good news. I mean, I love hearing good news. And I love calling into your show every single night because you inspire me. When I'm feeling bad and I feel that my hopes are down and I feel like nothing's going right, nothing's going in the right direction. I come on your show and I feel like you all those things evaporate instantaneously when I come onto your show.
I doubt it's me. Chances.
No, it is you.
You're too young to have sad days, brother.
No. The Warriors just lost. That I still can't sleep.
What do you think, Shardal? What do you think? First of all, Shardal, real fast. I'm going to be doing, if Steve Kerr holds on to his job, I'm going to be doing a 24-hour filibuster episode. Are you going to join me? Are you going to co-host for like an hour?
I'll co-host with you. Co-host with you for an hour.
An hour. Okay, so I got you in the books. You're going to be part of that run. What do you think, Shardal, about Brooklyn Opinion dropping $1.99 in the chat saying Bobby Portis for Jonathan Kuminga? Ouch. I'm glad he said ouch because that would be way too much of a one-sided.
So when trade. I watched that video that you showed on the program, many of the Warriors players were in attendance for the Valkyries and Sparks game. Jonathan Kuminga was in attendance in the building. Brandon Pajemski was in the building. The head coach Steve Kerr was in the building. Buddy Hield was in the building. Most of the Warriors players were in the building. So this shows that this team means a lot to them because this is an expansion team.
Yes, sir. All right, sure. I want to go. I want to eat dinner and I want to have myself a nice weekend here.
It was great coming on.
Yeah.
It was great coming on the show. It's an honor coming on, making me the last caller. That's the greatest thing anybody can ever do to me.
Because you're
is making me the last caller.
You're as polarizing to this audience as Jonathan Kuminga is to Dub Nation, and you're facing that controversy full steam ahead. You bring the good vibes, And I'm thankful for you, friend. Thank you.
And I really viewers, make sure to click the like button, smash the subscribe button, ring the notification bell for Golden Days. And my boy Sai makes some really great Warriors content. So if you don't want to miss out on anything this guy puts on the channel, and if you love all of his content that he makes, go out there and show him some love, because he needs as much love as he can receive.
We all do, brother. We all do, Shardall. Thank you very much.
And you're really great host on Golden Days, great professor at San Jose State University. I just applied for an interview a guest services representative position for Levi's Stadium.
Really?
I have an interview on May 31st at 1:30.
Good luck.
I'm going to be working at Levi's Stadium all around the Niners. I get, as a guest services representative at Levi's, you get to watch the games for free.
Shardall, if you get that job, will you please just be your real self? Meaning if some customer comes up to you and goes, my seats are not what I paid for, I want you to tell that person, go F yourself. Get out of here. You're not a real Niners fan. You'll take these seats. It doesn't matter where you're sitting. You're in the blah, blah. You're in Levi's.
As a guest services representative, my job is that if anybody is cursing or using foul language or swearing, I get to eject or ban that fan from the stadium.
Someone has to get video of this.
If I get the position, I would love to. If a guest is swearing or cursing and they're saying that, like, they call me and then I walk over and I said, like, can you please stop cursing? This is a family-friendly environment. Kids are here to watch a football game, here to watch a Niner game. We can't have you swearing and cursing. We're gonna give you one warning and we'll have you permanently banned from the stadium. I would love to walk up and ask the fan to come with me.
Sure,
you come with me. You know, we've had enough of you. Come with me. We're taking you out of the stadium.
Shardall, if you ever get this position, I want you to be like Cartman, okay?
Respect my authority.
That's what I want from Shardall. I want you to yell at people, respect my authority.
Respect my authority.
Yes.
I love South Park.
I love it too. Shardall, you're awesome, man. I'll see you soon. Have a great night. Have a great night, everybody. We are done. If anything happens when it comes to the Golden State Warriors, we will immediately host a show. Otherwise, follow us on all social media platforms at Golden Days Pod. And thank you sincerely to everyone involved in all this. Without the audience, we don't exist for obvious reasons. So thank you. And great stuff. Yeah, it ended up being a very entertaining, fun show, I think. Until then, go Valkyries, go Warriors. Have a great weekend.